Hello, Mr. Porter. How you doing?
We're doing good. Doing good. Thank you.
All right, brother. You're live on the Boxing Voice. We're happy to have you. A lot of questions, man. We want to know what's going on with the Kell Brook situation. Eddie Hearn put out an article with Ring TV, basically stating that everything has signed on his part, except for one part of the contract of the PSO by the IBF. So what's really the holdup?
I didn't know there was a holdup at all. I thought everything was done.
But Saturday night, when you seen or came back home and watched the fights on television, you noticed that your son's name was no longer on the August 9th card at the Barclays Center, and instead it was Danny Lamont and Daniel Jacobs, all in very, very soft fights.
Well, initially when I was at the fights, I was receiving a lot of text messages telling me that there was an announcement going on the telecast and we weren't on the show. So I asked the question, what's going on, what's the problem? And I was told that they hadn't received the contract back from the other side. So when I was asked about it, I said they need to sign a contract so we can get this date. And then immediately after that, everybody put a rush on signing contracts, and then after that, everybody put a rush on us signing the contract. As far as I know, everything has been signed and we're ready to roll.
So you're saying that your side has signed. There's nothing that needs to be done on your part between you and your son. You've taken care of your part.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So what is the date for this fight? Because it's no longer on.
We don't have a date. We don't have a date. On the contract, it says the date will be determined. It hadn't been determined yet.
Now, don't you guys have only until September, I believe, 6th or 10th to get this done?
Yeah, they have to get it done by then, 10th.
And if you guys don't fight Brook, will they intend to strip you?
Why wouldn't we fight?
Well, if you don't have it,
we have every intention to fight. We signed the contract.
Now, all right. So let's switch gears a little bit, but it's definitely going to stay on some uncomfortable questioning because now all of a sudden, you of course with social media being as big as it is, the minute that Eddie Hearn put out that his side was signed and everyone seen that you guys weren't on August 9th. Questions arose, and now people are insisting that Shawn does anti-doping testing. There's rumors that, well, not rumors, but people are just basically saying he's never looked this good until he got with Conti.
Okay, that's absolutely hilarious. I've been asking, for volunteer doping since Shawn has been a professional. So I don't care what anybody thinks that a person hasn't looked good or know how good they look in this fight or that fight or anything else. As Roger Mayweather said, most people don't know shit about boxing. So most people that's watching this don't have a clue of what's going on. Has absolutely nothing to do with Victor Conti or anybody else. It has absolutely everything to do with Shawn. If anybody has actually knew him or knew anything about him or knew anything about his history, they would know how good a fighter he was. But since they don't, they underestimate us, and then they get what they get in the last fight. So we continue to work hard and do what we do. Victor Conti doesn't work with Shawn on a day-to-day basis. He doesn't work with Shawn on a monthly basis. He's seen Shawn probably, the last couple of fights, he probably seen Shawn maybe 3 or 4 times. There's nothing that he does with Shawn directly. I work with Shawn. He doesn't do anything directly with Shawn. He doesn't give Shawn anything. Shawn doesn't do anything that's instructed by him. So, people misunderstand what's going on there. That's kind of like going to the Cadillac dealership and going there to buy a car. Well, you go to the Cadillac dealership, and so you bought a Cadillac. That's it. We just going to a place with his name on it. He doesn't work with us. He doesn't do anything directly with Shawn. He doesn't give Shawn anything. Shawn doesn't accept anything from him. Okay, it's just a name that's overseeing everything else is going on. Be the same thing as going to Mayweather gym. That don't mean you work with a Mayweather. That don't make you a Mayweather. You just go to that gym.
Well said. Now, so if Brook happened to want to do drug testing to get this fight done, will you and Shawn be willing to partake in anti-doping testing or anti-dope testing?
No doubt.
Oh, Shawn, what's going on, brother?
No doubt. Hey, man, what's up, Nestor? Listen, I've been all throughout, the amateur program, I did use SADA, anti-doping. And, I take a test before and after the fight now. And, I've always wanted to do the testing prior to fights, because as clean as I am, I want the world to know. Not only that, I want the fighter that I'm standing across the ring from to know it and be just as clean as I am, So at the end of the day, you tell us when we have to take the test and we'll be there ready to take it.
Now, Shawn, I would, if I were you, I would take this as a form of flattery. Because clearly,
no doubt, yeah. It's definitely flattering, and then it goes back to what my dad said. If you know my history, you name any 165-pound boxer out there that had a name coming up through the amateur system, they know about me, they know about my power, and after this fight with Paulie Malignaggi, I actually got calls from guys that I knew back in the amateurs, and they're like, man, the public is going crazy. They just don't know this, man. I've been seeing you knock guys out since you was 14, so no disrespect to anyone out there, but I've been leaning people for a very long time. I know how to do it, and, coming down to 147 pounds was just only a matter of time before we started doing it. And, I'm comfortable making the weight now, and I feel like, coming back to the fights, rehydrated and all that, the power will be there, and Kell Brook's in for it on whatever day we have.
Now, is this at all frustrating? Because clearly going into this, it's hard for one not to think that with Porter comes a Brook comes a stigma of this kind of stuff happening where the fight doesn't take place. There's never a date. We've seen this with Devin Alexander. Do you think that this is going to be the same scenario, or are you confident that you're going to fight this man?
I'm confident that I'm going to fight him, but that's just me. If I was in his shoes, looking at him, I don't see how you could pass up an opportunity like this. I was given an opportunity to fight for the IBF title, and I took full advantage of that. With that being said, if he loves this sport, if he's a competitor, he'll get in the ring when they tell him to get into the ring. As far as the date changing and all that, it's really not that frustrating because it's boxing. I'm used to it. I can't really remember a time where I was ever given a specific date and that date stuck. So a little frustrating that I won't be getting in the ring next month, like what I was told right after my fight. But we've been in the gym 5+ weeks, training hard as usual, right after the last fight, and we'll be ready.
Now, how long is too long? Like, how much time has to go by before you decide to sit down with your father and whoever else on the team, Porter, and say we have to move on? Because wouldn't you want to stay active, or are you okay? Do you feel you're a big enough name now where you can just fight 2 times a year like most fighters?
No, that's not it doesn't satisfy me to fight 2 times a year. My favorite part, and the reason why I work so hard, is so I can get in the ring and perform. With that being said, my dad handles everything accordingly, and he works in close contact with Al Heyman. And the two of them, they will figure out when they're going to do the fight and where they're going to do the fight, and we'll do it. If anything comes up, my dad and I, we don't sit down twiddling our thumbs. We will continue to move forward and have our fight whenever that fight is. And if anything happens with Kell Brook, we'll push him to the side and we'll keep it moving.
Now, tell me, how did you feel Saturday night when, because I'm sure you received text messages as well as your dad, right? Everybody was expecting you to fight August 9th.
Yeah, I got screenshots of the TV and all that kind of stuff. It was kind of funny, but, we were while we were there, we're hearing a few rumors. I had done a few interviews with Showtime, so we started to hear that the date might be changed. And then, of course, when that came on TV, that made it official to us, you know. So, but again, like I said, my dad he works very closely with Al Heyman. He calls up Al. Al says, you know, yeah, we're gonna have to move the date, and we'll figure it out and we'll make it work. So that's where we're at with it now.
Now, given that you were supposed to fight in August, let's cross our fingers, hope that you can get it done late August, early September. Is there time physically for another fight for you?
We look at not only winning fights, we look at winning them in, you know, spectacular form. And we win this fight in spectacular form. That means we come out healthy. And as long as we're healthy, we'll be going again.
And who would you desire to get in the ring with?
I'm not sure. You know, I think at this point you look at handling your mandatory, and after that you look at the next big thing. And I think at this point, you know, with the name that I am starting to build and the reputation that I'm starting to build, a guy like me, I think, you know, it's only rightful that I look for someone to unify a title with.
Well, you know, when news first broke that, you know, this fight wasn't going to happen, or rather when Showtime aired that August 9th card without your name, everyone immediately thought that you pulled out the fight because of a possible Mayweather fight. Did you, in all those texts that you got, anything like that happen?
You know how you deny something with a smile, as if, you know, you say, nah, really? You know, so that was kind of the feeling that I had. Some people started to throw out Mayweather choosing me, you know, to be, you know, the next fight for him in September, and it was kind of a, no, not really. You know, it was kind of, you know, you don't believe it, but you want to believe it, you know. So, and of course, you know, when those rumors started to rise, you kind of dig. You start to look and you dig, and then, you know, you find out that, you know, this fight is going to go on. It will be Kell Brook, you know. Stick with who you've been training for, who you've been preparing for, and then after that, we'll look for someone like, you know, let's say Floyd Mayweather or, you know, Manny Pacquiao or, you know, someone else out there with a big name or a big belt.
Now, the fight that the fight fans want, the new Mayweather Canelo and the Garcia Matisse is Porter-Thurman. That's what everybody wants, is Porter-Thurman.
Yeah.
You see that happening?
I don't know. I really don't know. I see the public wanting it to happen, which is pretty cool, you know, to be talked about and like that, and, you know, nothing's going on at all with that fight right now. So there is a lot of excitement built up about that fight, as there should be. We're two of the best welterweights out here right now, and, you know, when that fight takes place, I don't know. I do think that it will take place eventually, though.
So you welcome that match?
I do. I welcome that match because, you know, he has the name that he has, and he's undefeated, and he's done everything that you will want a great fighter to go against to do. You know, he's not, you know, anyone who's been knocked out a couple times, and they're questioning, you know, why you're getting in the ring with that person. I think there's so much built up around this fight that it should happen.
Such a gracious champion you are. So, Shawn,
no, that I gotta be.
It's funny that you say you wouldn't mind fighting him, because Robert Guerrero, most recently Saturday nights, he told Keith Thurman that he says Keith Thurman has to fight Islandri Lara, which is a 154-pounder. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with his name, before he can fight Robert Guerrero.
I think the way Robert fought, the way he performed the other night it was very satisfactory. It was very stupid, in my opinion. You know, the eye that he had after that fight just should never happen to you as a professional, especially if you're demanding someone else fight, someone before they fight you, standing there and fight good and, show that you should be someone that can demand a fight,
So basically you're saying he shouldn't have got beaten up, well, not beaten up, but, get a black eye by an unknown fighter?
Oh, yeah. That should never happen. And then, after a performance like that, you should never say, hey, you got to stand in line to fight me. You don't have that right anymore.
Now, is that a matchup that you would like?
I haven't thought about that fight in a while. Honestly, there was a point where he, initially moved up to 47. He was someone I could fight. But, he took his loss to Floyd. And then, we've done what we've done recently. And, he kind of, for me, was put into the background. But, again, I'm the fighter, not the businessman. I handle the athletic side, and my dad handles the business side. And, whoever he tells me we should go after, that's what we'll go after.
So he's lost the luster, is what you're saying.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's it for me, Shawn. Man, you've answered everything that the people wanted. You're willing to do drug testing for this fight, right? For this.
All day and all
that happens to be an issue. If they happen to bring it up and holding up this fight is going to be that, you're willing to do it.
Yeah, we'll laugh in their face. Yeah. Yeah. My dad is here, and he wants to give a little bit more insight to the business side, the contract, and all that good stuff for the fight.
I ain't telling nobody on no contract. Hey, Nestor.
Yo.
Just so you know, this works out perfectly for me because, like I said, I have been asking for volunteer drug testing, but I haven't been getting any answers on it. So, again, perfect situation when somebody else says, hey, we want to make them take a drug test. Okay, I've been trying to get that, buddy. This makes it easy for me. So I'm glad they want to do it, and I would like to keep it going after this one. As we move forward and continue to work hard and any questions that are asked, we'll get them answered in the ring. But, as far as the drug testing part of it, before and after the fight, we always take tests. But the volunteer anti-drug agency is something that Shawn is used to. He's done that since he was in high school. They come to your house. They come to the movies. They come to church. Anywhere you at, they'll come, and that's fine. So we're looking forward to that and looking forward to this fight. But I don't want to be looking like another 2 weeks from now and not have a date. So they're gonna have to make something happen real soon, because at that point then I will be saying let's look to fight somebody else, because this guy doesn't want to do it.
Now, Ken, I mean, as far as the doping testing goes, how does that make you feel? Because I mean, as a trainer, I would assume that you feel that yes, your work is paying off.
Well, I didn't think of it that way. I just looked at it like I said, like I've been asking for this and nobody's answering the phone call, and now somebody wants to do it, which plays into what I want. It works out perfectly for me. Whatever the reason is for it, he mentioned drug tests, then he mentioned my name or Shawn's name, then he, continued to talk some more, then he mentioned drug tests, and he mentioned Shawn's name again. So every time he said drug testing, he mentioned Shawn's name. So, obviously he's trying to make an insinuation. So we need to take the test, and we're going to take the test. But, that's not going to be a problem for us. We're looking forward to that, and I want to keep that going on from this point on.
Well, that'll be great because, we don't want any snags. We finally get this fight out the way, because we know there's so much that could be out there for you and Shawn if you get past this fight. But we want to thank you, of course, to you and Shawn, for coming on and giving us your time. And if you guys got any social media, something you want to give out to the listeners, you could do so now. If not, Shawn, thank you, and Ken, thank you.
Hey, I got one more thing. I got one of Shawn's sparring partners here. Mm-hmm. and I'd like him to introduce himself and just tell you a little bit about what's going on with us.
Okay.
Okay. His name is Don Cameron.
How you doing?
What's up, Don?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, Camp's looking real good. Shawn's looking real good. You know, I think this will be a great fight.
Don. You're from the UK?
Yeah. I'm from the UK, as you can tell by my accent. Yeah.
So how much do you weigh?
I'm 154 right now, about 160, about 154.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how's camp going?
Camp's going tremendous. I think it was Tuesday already. Shawn did 12 with 4 different bodies and looked tremendous. So, you know, today, yeah.
This is more of a loose show, so mind me if I interrupt, but I want to get to the nitty-gritty here. Is the power real?
Okay. Sorry?
I said I want to get to the nitty-gritty. Is the power real, or was Malignaggi just Malignaggi at the end of his career?
It's surreal. It's he's a beast. He's you know, like to get up close. It's different watching fights on TV. To get up close and personal visual is like, I think is a blessing, because the weight, you don't see many people banging with that power at this weight category, and it showed in the Paulie Malignaggi fight. Like Paulie Malignaggi even was on Sky Sports, and he even said it himself. Like, you know, he was throwing up after it and stuff, and like, he's got tremendous power, and he wished him well, because he didn't want to go out like that, you know. And for Shawn not to carry that on would be a shame, but I don't see that happening at all. Like, yeah.
So, have you ever sparred with Kell Brook?
I haven't. No, I haven't. I've watched him though. I've seen quite a lot of Kell Brook.
Okay. Well, Don, man, thanks for coming on and answering some questions for us here, brother. Thank everybody again, Ken and Shawn. We're going to go ahead and let you guys go and get on to our next guest.
No problem. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Nestor. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Nat.
All right, Shawn. All right, Ken. Thank you, Don.